everyone, Author DL Tillery here, the Mistress of Horror. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, how about you press that subscribe button, give this video a like, and ring that bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos. So, I wanted to talk about being a writer, soon published author, and having a day job. Dum dum dum. Yeah. Well, that's the reality for most of us in actual of writers. I actually have multiple businesses. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a mother. And yeah, lots of stuff going on. So, I still find time to write. It's not the easiest thing being a writer and trying to focus on this and then also focusing on all the other things that I do. And the best advice I could give to someone who is a writer or who wants to be a writer, but also maybe they're going to school, maybe you're going to school, maybe you are working a job or two jobs and you still want to write. The thing is, we all have time. It's just that we choose what we choose to do with said time. The first thing people like to say is, I don't have time. That's not really true. You're still choosing to have the time. You kind of have to make time, as they say. There's 24 hours in a day. Let's say you work an 8-hour job. Maybe you work 16 hours. I don't know. Even with that, and if you're a parent, then of course your time is not your own when you get home. However, there is always time to write something. Rather you're on your lunch break, you can jot down something in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then, put those notes and take them home and put them on the computer at whatever time. You can make time. That's the thing. Like, I'm very busy. I work, but I also work my own businesses because I wanted my schedule to be my own. I wasn't going to work for people anymore. So I took control of that because I want to be a full-time writer, and author. But I'm realistic too. I know I'm not making money on it right now. I have made money on writing in the past. I've been published with my poetry in the past, but I don't count as a novel. I have a story coming out in an anthology with other writers later this year in October. Hopefully you guys will read that. I'll let you know more about that once I get a concrete date, but I know it comes out in October. But that's not really a paying gig. It's more like the donation is going to be a charity thing. It's going to be donated to like a writer's thing. And then we get to have a copy of the book. But it's just to get people interested in the full story I'm going to release next year. But again, being realistic, I'm keeping my other businesses, and the writing author thing is one of my businesses as well. I'm opening a publishing house for me to do my publishing and everything. So it's a lot, okay? It's a lot, guys. But you can do it. It can be done. It's just, again, you have to make the time. Rather that's 15, 20 minutes a day, rather that's an hour a day. Blessed if you have 2-3 hours to work with a day. That's even better. I am sparsely right now. I finished my book. I am editing for the second time. First I had a revision, then I edited it, and then I sent it to the editor, and then I edited it again. Didn't really like what came back completely from the editor, so I have another editor that I hired that they won't be getting until later this year. So I'm working on my final edits, and then I have to run through alpha run, and then I have to get back to my alphas, and I have to edit again, and then I have to go and do the beta run, and then I have to get back from them, then I have to do my edit again before my editor ever sees it. So, all of that being said, I have to push the time in it. Now, even I'm not always great with that, but I do try to make sure I give myself time. I know, give yourself a deadline. You may not meet your deadline, so don't beat yourself up about that because it is what it is. But working a day job, because that's what we call that, and, balancing your writing, you just literally have to make time. And then don't feel bad about if you don't make the time, but don't bother saying, I don't have time. You have time. You do. You just have to make the time. Literally, only way you don't have time is if you go to work for 20 hours of the day or school with work, and you literally only sleep in 4 hours or something like that. Then I can totally understand. then I definitely can understand that. However, again, you can still, okay, maybe you're the type of person that you can't 5 days a week write at all. But then there's still 2 other days in the week, Saturday and Sunday. Maybe you work 6 days a week, and maybe you only can write one day of the week. And you could, like, I consider sit aside 2 hours to write on Sunday in the evening when no one's going to bother me. Or maybe you still have someone who you have to take care of. You have kids like I do, then you will have to balance that somehow. Rather, they're on your hip and writing. I have a friend who had her kid on her lap while writing. Like, it's a choice. Do you care about it enough to make time for it? Just like anything in your life, you're making time for everything in your life. Just to be clear, writing is no different. So don't say I don't have time. That's not true. You have time. You have to decide to make time. So that's why this video is called Making Time for Your Writing with a Day Job. Because you are choosing to not make time. Sorry, it sounds a little cruel, but it's not. Not at all. I'm not trying to be harsh. It doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. Make time because it's something you want to do. Just like anything else you do. I'm sure there's a hobby you have. You probably make time for that. You watch TV ever? You watch a show? Do you Netflix? You do whatever? You have time. So don't say that. You just have to make time. This is the time I'm going to set aside to write my book. So you can actually be a writer and author with a day job. That being said, let me know what you do, how you run your schedule for writing. Do you have a schedule you just randomly just, I'm going to write today type of thing? That's cool too. So that being said, this is the Mistress of Horror signing out. I will see you in the next video. Stay scared.